This mass theme of that, a barndominium should be 50% cheaper than a conventional house is not true. And we see this all the time. People will get on there and they'll comment like, I can't believe that it costs this much money to build this thing. Like, people are ruining barndominiums. They're supposed to be so much cheaper. It's not real. It's not a real thing. Now, the where that you could see that be possibly true is if you're building the thing yourself, right? If you're going to just buy materials and you're going to go out there and you're going to do the work, you might see a 30 to 50% savings. It's very possible. If you're just going to GC it yourself, where you run it and you manage the subs and you do those things, you could see anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe even 20% savings. But if you're hiring someone to build you your home and they're going to do everything for you, it's not going to be that big of a savings, especially compared to the affordable housing options that are out here, because people are trying to solve a problem. People are building tract homes on tiny lots, ready to go, move-in ready. That is not a good comparison. What's up, everybody? I'm TJ Norris with the Barndo Co., and we've been building barndominiums for the last 3 years, and we've built over 300 turnkey barndominiums across the Southeast. And one of the most common online questions we see over and over and over again, or statements rather, is barndominiums are so much cheaper to build than a conventional house. So we want to talk a little bit about why that can be true, but I really want to set the record straight so that you know what you should expect when you go to build your barndominium. So first thing we want to do is we want to compare apples to apples, right? We want to establish what we're discussing between the differences of different types of construction. And that really boils down to the building system. So if you were to compare a barndominium that's being built by the Barndo Co., I can't speak to everybody, but I can speak to us. There's some massive differences between the Barndo Co.'s barndominium and a traditional conventional built house. We've talked about these several times. The biggest ones being the fact that we're building with a 2x6 exterior wall cavity with 6x6 post frame construction. So it's built way superior structurally than a conventionally framed house. With that comes larger cavities of the exterior wall assembly, so we can put higher value insulation into that home. And all those things are standards for us versus a conventional built house that may be built with 2x4 walls and batt insulation. So no, economies of scale there, and the economics between the two, you're going to be slightly higher. But if you were to go apples to apples with a custom home builder that's not just producing mass production houses or, trying to be the cheapest in town, if they were to build for you a 6-inch exterior cavity home and they were to insulate it with the open cell full encapsulation that we do, and they were to go and put metal roofing and metal siding and all these things on the house, your cost savings by building with the Barndo Co. should be between 20 to 50%. Just had this conversation with some realtors earlier this week when they were talking about some of the other custom builders in the space, and we're hovering somewhere anywhere between $165 to $195 a square foot for turnkey custom homes built on your property. And they were talking about some of the custom home builders they're working with being in that $250 to $325 square foot range. Now there's a big delta in what all's going into those different style homes and what kind of finishes, but comparatively speaking, you can build a turnkey barndominium, true barndominium, for a discount compared to a conventional custom home builder. And the primary reason for that is the efficiencies in scale that we have created so we can build faster. So when it comes to the actual structure of the home and the exterior finishes of the home, we can do that so much quicker with our system that it does save you money. Once you get on the inside, you're basically paying the same price for everything going inside that home that you would pay with any other builder. It's just a matter of markup and how they charge for it. So that is your biggest difference. And when you're talking about building custom versus, maybe a semi-custom option, or maybe just a complete tract home experience where you walk in, you say, hey, I like this model, I want you to build it for me, versus coming into a setting where you're making modifications, changes, and you're building and designing what you want. When you look at that from a design to door key experience, the Barndo Co. is going to be your most affordable option. Again, leaning into why it could be less expensive. It's an open floor plan building style, the way we do it with our post frame hybrid system that we've created. It allows us to move in and do the fundamentals of the build very efficiently, very quickly, and get the structure up much faster. It's the economies of scale as we've grown and the system in which we build to where we can do this faster, therefore saving you money, time, everything. But once that's done, the interior piece is kind of dollar for dollar the same. That's one of the reasons why it could be less expensive. It's also one of the reasons why it could be more expensive than, a different type of construction you're comparing it to. This mass theme of that, a barndominium should be 50% cheaper than a conventional house is not true. And we see this all the time. People will get on there and they'll comment like, I can't believe that it costs this much money to build this thing. Like, people are ruining barndominiums. They're supposed to be so much cheaper. It's not real. It's not a real thing. Now, the where that you could see that be possibly true is if you're building the thing yourself, right? If you're going to just buy materials and you're going to go out there and you're going to do the work, you might see a 30 to 50% savings. It's very possible. If you're just going to GC it yourself, or you run it and you manage the subs and you do those things, you could see anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe even 20% savings. But if you're hiring someone to build you your home and they're going to do everything for you, it's not going to be that big of a savings, especially compared to the affordable housing options that are out here, because people are trying to solve a problem. People are building tract homes on tiny lots, ready to go, move-in ready. That is not a good comparison. It's also not a good comparison to, manufactured housing. It is a superior quality product for a similar price that other people are building homes at. And that's where you see some discretionary things. So that's why I say, comparing it to custom housing, it is going to be more affordable, but I don't want to be misleading and further push out this misconception that it's going to be vastly cheaper, because it shouldn't be. It's a superior built building. The efficiency in which we build it is where the cost savings comes to you. So if you were to go and compare building a full custom experience from design to door key, you'll notice it is saving you money. So some of the long-term savings, though, like, let's get past the sticker price and the shock factor of what it costs to build a home in the United States in 2025. It's expensive. It's going to be more expensive than it was last year. Next year, it'll be more expensive than it is this year. That's one of the big pictures. The other thing is, currently with rates the way they are, it's not even the cost of the home that's driving this. It's what the monthly cost is. So we could see rates drop, making the monthly cheaper, making it more affordable for you to go and build it. But that has absolutely nothing to do with me as the builder or the company you choose to build with. It has everything to do with what money's trading at and what you can get interest rates for. But when it comes to construction is going to get more expensive, right? Your parents built their house 10 years ago. You're not going to get the same deal they did. It's just not going to happen. It's never going to happen. But moving past that sticker price, let's talk about some long-term savings, right? You always hear me talk about long-term value. When you build a barndominium, not only are you building a structurally superior building, but you're getting some low maintenance, high durability aspects of this. Your entire exterior of your home is going to be built with steel. You have steel roofs, steel sided, right? That metal roof is an upgrade for any builder in the country. Not with us as standard. The metal siding, what does that do? What it does is it gives you a painted and protected surface that's designed to last 40 to 60 years by manufacturing specs and long beyond that. Like, that's the warranty they're giving you on that. It's super fade resistant. You don't have to do a lot of maintenance. It's not something you're going to have to paint over and over and over again. It's designed to be a long-term solution, add long-term value to you and your build, so your enjoyment lasts for a long time. I tell everybody, we're reclaiming the American dream by building by the way that things used to be and building superior to what the minimum requirements are. We're always going to be building you an upgraded version of what the minimum requirements are to build in your area. The other long-term savings to you, which adds to that long-term value, is the fact that these things are highly energy efficient. I've done several episodes highlighting some of these things, but the primary one is like energy consumption. Everyone is aware that raw energy costs are escalating all the time, right? You see this by solar pushes, all these different things for alternative energy. Well, we're not so much into the alternative energy, but we are into being the most efficient use of the energy we are using in these homes. And the way we do that is our system is designed so that your insulation is the maximum insulation that we could possibly give you in your home to provide you a nice, comfortable living condition with a conditioned, semi-conditioned attic space, so that your mechanicals are working less and they're working more in harmony as one total building system, so that you have the most energy efficient use of the space that you are building. We're not just going in there trying to do the cheapest method of construction so that we can control that front end price. We're trying to build something so that when you're using it long term, years and years and years down the road, you're going to have the best option. I did an episode with one of our installation installers, and he said it best when he said this. He said, if you put spray foam in your house today, 20 years from now, if you were to go back and try to retroactively do it, that spray foam is going to cost you 2 to 10 times as much as it costs today. And the thing about spray foam is, you set it, you forget it, it's there. It's not going to settle, it's not going away. So you're going to have the same product today that they will be putting in years down the road to help control some of this energy gap, and you already get it. So you're getting it on the front end. So that's some of the balance. And then the other side of it is maintaining the equity in your home with a good resale value and holding that, because you're building something that's unique, you're building something that's very energy efficient, and you're building something that has massive long-term value, and you're building it at a fraction of the cost compared to other custom builders. So you're walking into the deal with equity in your pocket, and that is the goal. Long-term value to you as the consumer. A Barndominium provides you so much value that I don't think looking at it from price tag to price tag is not the whole story of how savings could work by building a Barndominium for you and your family. So sometimes there's some extra costs, right? Like, and we've talked a little bit about this, but in addition to just the superior system that we're putting on your land, there are variable costs that go site to site that I have no control over, right? You don't have control over if you already own your land, but if you're looking for land, you can. The biggest one is unforeseen building expenses for pre-construction, getting the land ready to build. That varies site to site, county to county, state to state. There's nothing we can do to control it. We have to have a certain condition to build that house, and depending on what the land looks like, that could elevate your costs. It could be anywhere from $5,000 to $150,000 to get it ready to build. It is all dependent upon the land that we are building on. And then the other side of it is just your taste, right? Some people are driven by budget, some are driven by vision. I'm a budget-minded person, and here's what I know. You can do upgrades on upgrades on upgrades in your home. I could build 5 homes side by side, same exact floor plan, same exact standards of builds, but the choices and the interior selections that they put into that home could fluctuate the cost by hundreds of thousands of dollars, because every little thing adds up, from the level of countertops that you put in, to the type of flooring that you install, to the types of cabinets you install, light fixtures, plumbing fixtures, tile, finishes. All of that plays a huge role in what your final cost is going to be. That's why if you see us online and you're like, what did this home cost? And we tell you, hey, it was $580,000. And you think, man, that disqualifies me. I thought this was the home for me. You might could have built that same home, changed some of the interior selections, and been in the mid 400s. It's just a matter of knowing what you're looking at. And because everything we build is fully custom, it doesn't necessarily transfer that, hey, this house costs this. So we're trying to be cautious in how we talk about it. It's why we talk about price per square foot so much. We want you to be able to look at it and say, hey, this is a 2,700 square foot house. So if I built with their standards, this is what it would cost, versus what did this one cost? Because this homeowner has put their personal touches into things that are important to them may not be so important to you. Or the finishes that they had may not even, set the standard for what you expect in your home. So there's massive gaps. So it's worth it to have a phone call. Let's figure out what your vision is, and let's see how we can apply it to it. So your upgrades play into that. All those things are contributing to the final cost. But yes, apples to apples, case to case, if you build a Barndo Co. Barndominium, you're going to save money over going with a conventional custom builder every single time. So check out this video here where we talked with a previous client that had some unforeseen circumstances around their build and their build timeline, but ended up with one of the most talked about coastal Barndominiums we've ever built. So we'll see you over here on this video.